Band of Brothers. So Band of Brothers was a small mini-series on HBO that basically follows the story of Easy Company when they invade France, and it's basically their journey through France all the way to the end of World War II. It's a drama miniseries that was produced by both Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, who decided to go back to their Saving Private Ryan days and bring in this real life story that actually happened during World War II. It starts off with them in a training camp, and the very first thing you see is Ross Geller walking on the scene, and he's doing his best Arlie Ermy impression that you have ever seen. And after like 5 minutes of watching this guy, you're thinking, oh, so you're not always Ross Geller all the time, David Schwimmer. That's cool. I mean, he's a good drill instructor, just not a very good commander. And they all kind of figure that out when they do combat training. So they basically had to get rid of him, and Damian Lewis comes in, and he leads Easy Company. He's one of the trainees that train with them, but since he's a very good leader and everyone likes him and all such, I guess that qualifies him to lead Easy Company. So finally, D-Day happens, they parachute into France, and now our journey really begins. And boy, is it a journey to remember. Because, well, we've seen D-Day from Saving Private Ryan, so we're seeing the other side. You see, what happened on D-Day is that there was the invasion on the beach, where many soldiers were coming in. They were landing on the beach, and they were stopped there for a long while. But there is another side to it. A bunch of planes flew over the Germans and landed on the rear behind them. So we're taking place with that point of view now. And even that was really interesting because it was the middle of the night, they were in enemy territory, and yeah, it was a rough invasion. And does the show get any lighthearted than that? No. This show digs in deep on how rough World War II was in Europe itself. I mean, Europe had basically the Black Plague, they had World War I, they had a dictator running the whole show, World War II, all that such, and now they're having a disease swarming around there and all such. So, not a lot of happy times in Europe, I gotta say. And this has probably gotta be one of the hardest moments that Europe had to go through. And this show really did pull through on what they had to go through. I mean, they're passing through towns in France, and they're seeing a bunch of girls getting their heads shaved off because they slept with the Germans and everything. That is like one of the least things you got to worry about in the show, because there are so many moments in the show where something happens and your jaw's on the ground in awe, and you're thinking, I can't believe that just happened. That just happened right in front of me. Especially for one of the members from Easy Company, Neil McDonough plays him. He also plays my least favorite villain from the TV show Arrow, which I'll get to that in another review. Don't worry, I got that covered. There is a moment that happens in one of the episodes where he literally sees two of his friends like just explode right in front of him. And the whole scene in particular is like at nighttime, but there's explosions going off everywhere, and one just happens right on top of the friends. At least I think it was at night. It was one of those episodes. And he's not injured. He's not injured. He's not in pain and anything. He just takes off his helmet and just drops it, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking to myself, I am literally scarred for life for just seeing that on screen. I wonder what it was like for the guy himself who had to see that. Because afterwards, he is in a hospital, and all I'm thinking is, yeah, he's physically okay, but mentally, does he ever come back? Never, I don't think we ever figure it out, because that's the last we see of him. So that was a very, very harsh scene to watch. But then again, it's HBO, they're famous for this. But also, Abraham from The Walking Dead is also in the show, and he goes rogue in one episode, and that was a really fun episode to watch, for the most part, but you don't know whether he might get caught or if he gets back to Easy Company alive. And I was actually shocked of how many actors are actually in this show. I mean, for example, there's also Tom Hardy. There's let's see, I'm cheating right now with the actors. Simon Pegg, he's in it. Colin Hanks, James McAvoy. All these actors are really in the show. I'll get rid of this so you know I'm not cheating. All these actors have like small parts in the show, so they really came together to make this World War II story come to life. And I appreciate that. Not to mention that this is like 10 episodes in this entire show, and right the time when episode 8 happens, they say the war is over, Adolf Hitler killed himself, and you're thinking to yourself, what are the next 2 episodes about? I should not have said that, because next thing you know, they are calming down in the next episode. There are new soldiers coming in. The new soldiers are disappointed because they didn't get to see any action, and the soldiers that have seen all the action right from the beginning are starting to scream at them, like literally talk down to them of how bad they had to take it in this war. A part of me is saying, okay, I'm actually on their side. I've seen what's going on here. But a part of me is thinking, dude, calm down. Just calm down a little bit. But then again, I was not in World War II, so what the heck do I know? And one of the hardest things to watch in the later episodes was the concentration camp. If you do not want to watch the whole miniseries because of like gun violence and all that such happening in the show, but you want to know a little more about the Holocaust, just go to YouTube right now and type in Band of Brothers Holocaust scene. You're going to get it all right there. You're welcome, by the way. All in all, this is a story that definitely should have been told. And I'm really glad it was not a movie, because a movie just doesn't have all the information that we needed, and a TV show definitely brings this to life. This show is definitely one of HBO's best, next to John Adams and, no, not Game of Thrones. I'm not going to forgive them for season 8. But like John Adams before, like John Adams after it, it's one of the best shows on HBO. It is definitely legendary. Although Chernobyl is up there as well. HBO does make a lot of good shows. And just so you guys know, this video is for one of my subscribers, and he mentioned me doing this a long time ago. And just so you know, guys, I do listen to what you got to say, what movies or TV shows you want me to do. They're on my list. It's just I need to get the Best Picture thing done so I can actually get on with doing what you guys want me to review and what I actually watch in real life. So this one is for my subscribers. Thank you for bringing it up. It was already on my bucket list to begin with, and hopefully I can get to the other stuff that you want me to review as well. So guys, Band of Brothers, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.